Welcome back to, I don't know, what is it, my third Deltarune reaction? As somebody who knows the Undertale soundtrack already and knows that Toby Fox and the other people helping on Deltarune are amazing. I've enjoyed the couple of tracks I've looked at so far. They've been pretty good. So I'm looking at Scarlet Forest and seeing I do have a Forest Core playlist that we'll see if I like this enough to put it on there, or it might be good, but we'll see if it feels like a Forest Core track to me. See if it makes the cut or fits the vibes, because I'm looking for kind of all the great forest tracks I can that I do reactions to. But I'm interested in this, called Scarlet Forest. It sounds like it could be pretty cool. Let's check it out. It already feels like not what I would expect. Somehow you really expect this chord progression to go like like it feels set up to do that. So when it just goes I don't know, it's a unique like bass motion. You would call it a root motion for the harmonic progression. It's a little different. I think I might mess around on the piano a little bit with it, because I kind of want to figure out what this is. It's an F sharp minor, I think. I think it is C sharp major before it resolved. I really like that. I think I might let me try something on the grand piano for a little bit. And we're back for the rest of the reaction. I don't even know if that's going to be like the bass motion for the rest of the track, but I just really liked it. It was satisfying. I kind of wanted to internalize a little bit and memorize like this pattern. I think it sounds great. It's like just a little bit unique. Oh, now it does what I thought it was going to do. Oh, shit. Okay, well, maybe over-focus on the first 8 seconds. If you know me, you are not surprised by that. It was fun, though. We had fun, didn't we? But it immediately does something different. It's not repeating that pattern. Now it does what I thought it would do. That's what I thought it would do the first time, and now it's doing it. Yeah, this is exactly what I expected. Something about the harmonic nature and motion made me think this was going to happen the first time. So I'm glad my instincts were good. I was just a little getting ahead of myself. I like that melody. Da, 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 da. It's really cool. Just like neighboring notes, and then steps down interval and does neighboring notes and makes a melody out of it. This is a crazy association already, but to me, that melodic shape of like 2 notes next to each other, a gap, and then 2 notes next to each other as the melody, to me feels like trees in a forest or in a clearing. Like, you know, a group of trees next to each other, some space, another group of trees. I know that sounds like a reach artistically and like a little bit of like a kind of literary analysis bullshit like you might do in class, but I don't know, popped into my head. It did. So I'm just going to say it. It's a little cheesy, but something about it feels like trees. Anyways, way over analyzing the beginning, which is my calling card. But really, I will get past this. I will enjoy the rest. So it did keep doing some of that just neighboring notes melodic pattern, which I like. I love when like there's a distinct sense of a melodic motion or like a musical cell or some kind of shape that defines a piece rather than just the notes or the harmony or the chord progression. I like when there's motions that feel like they're the leitmotifs or something. And just for a bit, it stuck to these like just the melody just existing as these neighboring notes. I liked it sticking with that for a bit. Then it moved into a little more variety in the melodic motion and it got even more beautiful. But I'm happy it stuck with that for a bit because it gave it an identity. Like I said, it made me think of like groups of trees separated in a forest, because it was distinctive. But it moved on to a melody with more arcs and more scalar motion. But yeah, it still got that satisfying like pizzicato plucked chordal root motion in the bass to support this kind of chord progression. It's got this synth string in the right hand. It's simple, but I love it. Obviously even just like the enjoyment of that chord progression at the start made me want to play around with it. So it's like very simple components, but they make me feel good. Music doesn't have to be complicated. And I mean, there is complexity to what's going on, as I've clearly found to talk about. But, compared to some other music, like it's relatively few components used fairly simply, but it's both straightforward and not at the same time. That's how art is. The simplest art sometimes is the art you could talk about the longest and say the most about. John Cage's 4 minutes and 33 seconds is a piece of silence that, I mean, there's more to it. There's when you open and close the piano lid, the lid on the keys, the key cover. There's like, how the performer is meant to like sit down and act like they're playing different movements. There are more instructions than just silence, and it's meant to be in a concert hall, or at least with an audience. You're meant to hear the, ambient sound of the people around you, and that creates a soundscape. Point is, even in a piece that's literally 0 notes and silence, there is a huge amount you could talk about and analyze about it. So clearly, there's no real association or necessity of, complexity or amount of elements in a piece of music or any piece of art to determine how ripe it is for analysis. That's just an aside. That's definitely beyond the scope of this video. But, just as a point to support, like, it's really kind of irrelevant, like, whether, this piece has just 2 elements and they're used in a fairly normal way. That really has nothing to do with whether it's great or not, whether it has, the ability to be analyzed or not. It doesn't matter. Art can possess a lot regardless of, the elements that make it up. Things are almost always greater than the sum of their parts for good art. Anyways, this is comforting. I really like it. It's just, it pleases me. Anyways, let's keep going. Okay, another layer. I like that. All right, get some percussion. Ooh, okay. We get some little woodwinds doing some little turns, little trills. Oop, didn't go back far enough, but it sounds great though. Great choice of honestly, this shape and like being in a forest setting, it was really asking for woodwinds to get that pastoral feel. And it brought it in, and they sound so good. They're playful. I'm loving this. And just the little marchy, like comforting drums that come in, like they're not trying to raise the intensity or turn it into a battle feel. There's other games that have forest tracks that like start peaceful like this. Honestly, this doesn't start that peaceful. It starts like comfortable, but walking pace. It's an andante. There's other forest tracks in games like Final Fantasy 16 or Nier Automata that start peaceful forest, and then they have like dynamic elements that raise. They bring in the drums and percussion, and then it starts to get a little bit epic and intense to support the battle. And Deltarune, if it's anything like Undertale, it's not going to need to be dynamic in an open space to turn into battle music, so it can stay as, background forest music. So it's partly more about just the context of the game it's in rather than like choosing to do something in a better or worse way. They're serving their needs, but just my personal taste in a track, I like better for a forest track, regardless of the context that makes it appropriate. I like this more in terms of what happens when it brings in that percussion layer with the drums. Many of these forest tracks do. Many of them have to turn it into dramatic battle music in a way, at least somewhat in that direction. And this feels like it's not doing that at all. It's bringing in percussion and drums, yeah, but it's not actually raising intensity. It's just adding an enjoyable musical element that fits the tempo and the vibe and the intensity that we're already at. It still feels like we're walking. It's a gentle march. We're on a journey. We've reached a forest. It's not the big epic forest where we're going to fight battles. It's like Viridian Forest. To be fair, you fight battles in Viridian Forest, but it's like that feeling. I don't know why I associated with Viridian Forest from like Pokemon Red and Blue, or I should just say Gen 1 Pokemon. But it's like, I don't know, you could say like Kokiri Forest from Ocarina of Time as well. These are two games I grew up with that are massive nostalgia. That's also a forest at the start of a game, but that's a little more like playful and childish forest. I feel like Viridian Forest is that like, you've passed some routes, you've gotten in the game a little bit, but you're still at the beginning. It's chill. It's a forest, but like, and you're fighting in it, but like, it's cozy. It's just start of the game. Oh man, I'm just having massive nostalgia waves and flashbacks, not specifically from the music, because it doesn't sound like Viridian Forest. It just feels like it, intensity-wise, but like, just talking about it, I haven't thought about this in a while. I'm having massive flashbacks to like, just the feeling, totally a tangent, but just the feeling of playing Pokemon Red version as a kid, one of my first games on a blue Game Boy Pocket. And you're just learning for the first time how a turn-based JRPG works. For the first time, you're leveling up a Pokemon, an action in RPGs, gaining XP and leveling up, training something. For the first time building a mental model and cognition around how this process works and how satisfying that growth feels, opening a door to the next 25 years of doing that same thing in various forms across all kinds of games. Like, man, what a formative experience. Experiencing EXP and leveling up and, strength growth in an RPG for the first time in someone's life as a kid, and then continuing to do it forever. Like, damn. And Viridian Forest is that first place where you go from, simple kind of learning the ropes to like, now you get to kind of test out stuff against a bunch of trainers. They give you real juicy XP compared to wild Pokemon, and you get to really suddenly transition to feeling like you got a handle on the game. You're really making progress. It's so cool. What a flashback. Anyways, yeah, I know that seemed unrelated, but anyways, it came into my mind. So we'll continue now with more of this track. Point is, the woodwinds come in and they're super fun. They're perfect. I love them. A little bit of drama. I love the little ornaments in these flutes. You know, dun, 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 dun. It just sounds great. It's exactly what I wanted to hear in this. See if it's a different section now, maybe, but I loved that the instrumentation in the arrangement that we just had. Really good. I think that flute melody is just perfect. It's great for a forest like this. Ooh, different instrument. Variety of strings. Variety of different instruments. And they're all having a similar motion with the same little ornament. Da, 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 da. Yeah, cool. Passing around between different instruments that are new to the track. Very cool. From the beginning, I wouldn't have thought it would bring in that many. This whole track honestly could have been just the pizzicato like bass line and chords with the like basic synth strings and the melody. Like that could have been the whole track. You could have 2 minutes of that just changing a little bit and continuing, and it would have been a good background track. It would have been completely good. But it does a lot more. There's a lot more work that went into this, and I really appreciate it. Ooh, that sounds great. Oh my God, let me back up 5. Kind of a new feel. Oh, it's the theme. Nice. Okay. That's an interesting way to cut off the track. I don't know if that's like what it's meant to be in the game with a sudden cut off, and there's a reason, or if it's just kind of odd in this OST version. It cut the sound. I think something is chopped off here. Because this track has only been up for a month. This posting on YouTube, it said 1 month ago. So I think it's just like kind of a buggy chop off of the sound. I want to know what the actual end is though. I mean, because that sounds really cool. I love how it drops down to the piano there with just the little distant kind of back and forth there. Sounds really cool. I wonder like exactly how it's meant to end. But yeah, it brought in, first of all, new harmonies in a chord progression that sounded wonderful. It was getting richer at the end. And then right as it did that, it brought in that classic theme. Now, I don't remember what track that is. I'm so sorry. That's probably sacrilegious. But I don't remember if that's an Undertale or a Deltarune track. If it's Deltarune, it might have been one I already did, but I did Attack the Killer Queen, which I don't think it would have been in, unless it just was quoted there too. And I don't remember the name of the other Undertale track I did. Let me think for a moment. Do I remember what it was? Sorry, not Undertale, but Deltarune. I don't remember what it was. Anyways, I may have heard this track quoted in others. Maybe I listened to the main one. Maybe it's just it's the theme throughout the game, and it might be an Undertale track. Just let me know in the comments which one I'm thinking of, what this main theme is from. But obviously, huge quote right at the end. It's shouting out a reference to it. But I just love the chords lead into it. They're so good. I don't think they're part of the quote as well, but I'm like impressed. It just brings in this new chord progression right at the end. I guess if this track loops in the game, then you do hear it every 2 minutes, which means you get to enjoy it pretty often instead of just, thrown in at the end feeling like it's not used as much as I wish it was for how good it sounds. But also with the way this ends, it's chopped off on this YouTube posting, but it also sounded like it was fading off anyways down to that solo piano. So maybe it is like music in a scene in the game and it's meant to cut off. Because that seems odd for a loop. Because it would have to go back to this pizzicato strings, like bass part from this like jumpy piano solo bit at the end. So I don't really see how that would loop. Yeah, let me know. I'm really curious if someone can tell me what I'm missing here about like whether this loops or not, like where it's used, if it's meant to be heard just once through like this, if it keeps going and you hear that section with the new chords and with that quote from that other main theme and you hear them once every 2 minutes. I want to know. I really want to know. I have played Undertale once, enough to get like the true like Evil Flowey ending. And I've never played Deltarune, but I probably will someday because I definitely liked Undertale. I've never played Earthbound / Mother, unfortunately. Maybe someday I'll do that too. So I haven't played many of the influences. And there's that other game. Somebody could remind me what I'm thinking of as well, but there's that other game that's in the realm of like the Earthbound Mother influence for Undertale. It's like a free like indie game. I don't remember. It came into my attention like within the last year. Anyways, there's another one very much like these other games. Haven't played that either. I think it might have just got like re-released or remastered, because people were talking about playing it. I think Mouse on Joseph Anderson's like stream was talking about it maybe, or they reacted to it maybe on some like game announcements from like the Summer of Games. Anyways, yeah, haven't played Deltarune. I would like to. It is on my horizon to play because I really did like Undertale. So maybe I'll see what this is in the game myself. But if I don't get to, or regardless, please let me know in the comments. I want to see these chords though before we wrap up. I'm actually going to switch totally to the camera on the keyboard and work out these chords while we just chill. I'll take time transcribing them real quick, see if I can find them. I'm no jazz musician, so I don't have an ear for just like calling out what they are immediately on the fly. Those people blow me away. I think they're incredible, the skill set that they build. Classical musicians don't usually have that same thing. I have a decent ear, but not for hearing harmony right away or harmonic progressions. So I'll show you what I would do to try to transcribe this. Let's see. It's kind of a delayed MIDI playing through my desktop audio, so it's kind of weird. There's a lot of delay to it. But what is this? So it's maybe an A major chord to start. Let me see the context a little more. Oh, you can't even see it. Is it the augmented? Maybe. It's kind of cool if it is. Maybe it's descending like that, so it's... Is it doing that? That would be beautiful. Okay, I wish I had both hands for this, but and is it minor there? Oh yeah, it's not even a D flat chord. probably just back to the tonic there. It sounds kind of minor though. Yeah, it's definitely the relative minor. So it's in this, I mean, if we were starting an A, then we're using sharp, so it would be an F sharp minor, the relative minor in the tonic. Oh, I was way off pitch there singing, sorry. Da, 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 da. So yeah, that melody is also an A, so definitely an A. Okay, cool. So I think I figured out what it is. So it's like... Okay, yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyways, it's a new chord progression for... hello, here's the little camera I was holding with my left hand. Trying to do that the stretch with that augmented with one hand is kind of hard. Let me do it with two hands really quick while you can't see it, but... That's me playing what I just figured out with two hands. I don't know, that augmented with the descending bass is just something I love. When I've composed things with a similar approach. I love descending bass lines to govern your next chord, to go with that a little bit more than just common practice chordal motion for composing progressions. Like sometimes I think it's just as strong to break those rules and just go with descending one note in the bass and go with what that gives you. And I especially love that, like... Anyways, I love that augmented going down. Oh, I think it sounds so good. I think it's really cool. That's part of why this jumped out to me as being really good, because it's something I personally like. Maybe that seems like it's exactly where it ends. It's just the audio is cut off extra, but still feels like it's final there. Yeah, anyways, I really liked that. I thought that was really good. I had fun like working out some of the stuff with it. I hope you enjoyed that. I know we got off the rails a little bit, but still not too long a video, at least for me. I think that still fits in forest score. I actually do. So I'm going to put it here. Scarlet Forest, unbold it. There we go. It's been a while since I've got anything for forest score. Like these tracks I did like at the beginning of my channel, which has been like a few months now. And I've been looking for more, but I haven't really done any. So I'm happy. Like I really want to have a good forest playlist. I mean, it's easy to make one, could just search them up, but like, you know, it's the fun of the process of like, I only get to include tracks I didn't know before and found through doing a reaction video, oftentimes through a suggestion. To me, that's more memorable, and like ending up with a playlist from that and the ones that I felt were good enough and fit, and made the cut, I think it's more fun. So yeah, it's I'm glad to have a new forest track. Thank you for the suggestion, and yeah, I will see you in another video. possibly more Deltarune. Let me know what you think I should hear from the soundtracks, and yeah, help answer some of the questions I had about like the musical references and themes and where it plays and how. If you know anything about that, let me know. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.